What's up, guys? Sean here, coming at y'all with a quick little video. Nick Sirianni press conference drop. We're going to see if we can dissect it, see if there's anything in here worth talking about, maybe get some glimpses into the team, different insights that we're not hearing about right now from beat reporters. But first, if you're new here, please like, please subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our content. We post daily Eagles news, NBA news, NFL news. Thank you so much for your support, and let's get into this press conference.
How you doing? Good. How you doing? I think a couple of Januaries ago, you referred to AJ as the best receiver this city's ever seen. How disappointing is it for you that it ended in the way that it did, considering how highly you thought of him?
That's kind of a weird question to start with. Like, yeah, of course we would say that. He was a wide receiver for the Eagles, and he had an amazing season.
Yeah, I mean, I would say it was there was a lot of good years here, right? And we've done a lot of good things with AJ here, 2 times in the Super Bowl. I think he was All Pro multiple times, Pro Bowl multiple times, and so I would say it was a good run. But really excited about that room that we have. You know, Devontae Smith has had a really good offseason, has had 5 good years of being an Eagle as well. Very, very productive, and excited that, he's going to get extra opportunities that he works so hard that people convert that. I'm really excited about Mekhi and where he is this offseason, and just has ability to catch the football, his toughness. I think that's a great addition to that room. Tay Wicks, I think he has a very unique skill set of being able to get in and out of breaks and be really efficient at the line of scrimmage. For a guy that I've coached, he has some Keenan Allen to him.
So that comp right there, I've heard that a lot from people in the past. Obviously, he's never produced on the level of a Keenan Allen, but if he has anything close to that kind of potential within him, this guy is going to replace AJ so silky smooth because, big body, not super fast, catches everything, runs immaculate routes. Keenan Allen, even into his later years, has still been incredibly efficient. It's a shame that he's just always with the Chargers, it seems like. I would have loved to have seen him with Herbert a little bit while he was younger, or maybe have went somewhere else. Very underrated wide receiver. So hell of a comp. And Nick Sirianni has time with Keenan Allen. Not a ton, but enough to know what he looks like, enough to know the day-to-day schedule, strengths and weaknesses. So that's a hell of a comp.
To his game, Keese and Elijah. Been excited to coach those guys for a long time. They have unique skill sets. Keese has got extreme quickness, and Keese has great speed and excellent hands. Elijah just is so quick at the top of his route, and then Darius Cooper and Johnny Wilson just have that ability to kind of be the dirty work guys that we've so valued in our offense. And I'll always value that in an offense, of a receiver that can do some of the dirty work. And then
I'm going to try not to pause this every 5 seconds. Last year, everybody was saying Darius Cooper is taking over for A.J. Brown. And now you got a lot of people mad that A.J. Brown is gone. Well, I want to see all those same people. And, I thought he had a hell of a run. I wasn't saying he was A.J. Brown, but he had a hell of a run in the preseason and in camp last year. If Darius Cooper comes out and makes some noise, it could really shake up this wide receiver room. There was a lot of high praise for him last year. He made the cuts through some other guys. It was pretty interesting. He still got some time on the field, obviously not much, but that's a name to watch for sure. Completely forgot about Darius Cooper. I don't think I've said his name one time in months, so that'll be interesting.
So, again, a lot of good things that have happened, and then really excited about that room.
Where did you weigh in, and what was your input on the decision to trade him?
Howie and I discuss everything, as you guys know. We talk through everything, and again, um, so many things that he did that was good for our football team, and always will wish him the best of luck. And but like I said, really excited about the guys in that room and where we are. But this is a team game. Um, to your question, and just in every decision, that I make and decisions that Howie's makes, we talk to each other about it. What a good teammate that I have with Howie Roseman, to be able to go to battle with, and that's like that with everything. The offensive staff working together to come up with the best plan, the defensive staff working together to come up with the best plan. I think that's what good organizations do, and obviously the Philadelphia Eagles have been a good organization for a very long time, and I'm very grateful and thankful to be a part of that.
AJ said in an interview with
So basically, they're trying to get him to bite on the AJ stuff. He's not going to retract anything he said about AJ in the past because AJ did too much for us. I don't think Nick is sour towards AJ. Nick's probably more sour that he's losing such a good player. Now he knows how he's going to do with the picks. He got a first round pick this year at wide receiver. You brought in all these guys, so there's no excuses for Nick. You definitely have the assets in place on paper to replace A.J. Brown. You bring in a new guy, new scheme, spread the targets around. We've talked about this before. You obviously expect all of that to be what replaces A.J., but there's definitely got to be some saltiness here from Nick about A.J. leaving, because the drama had nothing to do with Nick. He's just the coach. He wants to see his guys succeed. He wants to win. He's been on the hot seat every year. AJ comes in and completely transforms this team in 1 year. Now, obviously, Smitty, year two in the league, a lot of other things that we did, people we brought in, coaches, players. So it wasn't just AJ, but AJ was the initial move during that draft. Him and Jordan Davis were anchors on the offense and the defense, and they've grown into those roles. And now to see one of those players gone, as a coach, it's got to leave just a sick feeling in his gut. So, it'll be interesting to see what he has to say about AJ moving forward throughout the season.
Maria Taylor, that he was comfortable being the one who has uncomfortable conversations with the team and other people. Do you think that's important to have on your roster, and do you feel like that's?
I think that we have those conversations very consistently. I think that happens when you have a team that's close. They're able to do that. I mean, you listen to the guys talk when, like I kind of talked about when you get further along and you get successful teams, the Spurs, the Knicks, that common denominator, what they talk about is how close they are. That's no secret. Like when teams make it as far as we've made it, as teams make it as far into the championships of things, they talk about how close they are, and you always seem to find that they talk about because they're close, they can hold each other accountable. And again, we have hard conversations in here every day. Practice is evaluated in front of everybody, not only as a offensive group or a defensive group, but as a team. And so we set that stage as coaches to say, hey, this is so important that we're able to have these hard conversations. And then you have really good leaders on our football team that are able to do that. Jalen, Saquon, Jordan, Lane, Landon, Zach, Coop, Jalen, Jordan, on the defensive side, Jalen, Jordan, both sides. But we have a good group of core guys that are able to have those conversations with each other. And that's been common since I've been here, starting with the leadership when I first got here, with Jason Kelsey and Fletcher Cox and Lane Johnson and Brandon Graham. And I think we've always had those leaders that have been able to do that. I think, again, that's a sign of a good team, that you can have guys that are willing to tell the truth to each other, and we have to set that stage of telling the truth to each other as coaches with how we go about our daily business every single day.
Lane Johnson has been on the team through both Super Bowls, all three appearances. Lane has never been scared to say something. You got BG, who's always in and out. He's never been scared to say nothing. Before that, you had Malcolm Jenkins. He was never scared. You've always had guys on this team that hold people accountable. To think that AJ being gone, it's going to change the accountability on this team is actually hilarious to hear out loud. I get why the reporter asked the question, but at the same time, the other guys on this team. Any reporter who's been around this team for more than 5 minutes knows that we got plenty of guys who speak their mind. That's kind of one of the things that makes our veteran leadership so special is that they've been in the city for so long. They know how this works. They know what the team needs. They know what the city wants. AJ was never the guy in the locker room that was like, bring it all together. No, he's on the sidelines reading a fucking book. So, that's kind of laughable, but we got plenty of guys not scared one bit of accountability on this team.
A lot has been made about Jalen and AJ's relationship. You've always stressed how important it is for teammates to be close. I was wondering, as the head coach of the team, if their relationship, from your perspective, was ever a problem in managing the team and impacted on the field.
No, I think, again, yes, relationships are so important. That doesn't mean everybody. I think sometimes that can get misconstrued that everyone has to be best friends, and that's just not the case. There's a lot of guys on a football team. There's a lot of different personalities, and what has to be understood is that everybody has a common goal. And what also has to be understood is that everybody has a common goal that they need each other to accomplish, right? And so it's like, yeah, we all want to win. Yeah, we all want to be all pro. Yeah, we all want to be our second, third contract. But you also, in that, need others to help you accomplish those things. And there's no other sport, in my opinion, out there that is more that's more obvious than in football. And so again, like, yeah, you strive to get to know each other. Like when we talk about coming together as a football team, how do you do that? Well, there's no shortcut in the time that you spend with each other, getting to know each other, getting to know each other, what makes each other tick, why they do it, what they like to do, whatever it may be. You get that through shared hardships. So only part of that is like, hey, a little time, but then part of it is you get that togetherness through shared hardships, going through tough times together. And then the other part of that is you get that togetherness from trust that's built from consistently doing what you're supposed to do on a daily basis. Man, I just trust that guy that he's going to do the right things at all times. And so relationships, togetherness, sometimes look in the sense at times of, man, that guy's in, Landon was in Jordan's wedding, or Jordan's in. Sometimes it looks like that, and then sometimes it's just, hey, the shared mission of the team. And I think it can look a lot of different ways, but it is so important that we all understand that we have a shared mission and that we need each other to go about. To get to where we want to go, we need each other. Not in this sport can we do it alone. If you want to do it alone, you got to pick another sport. But I say to them sometimes, I feel bad because I love the sport of tennis, but I'm like, hey, this ain't tennis, all right? And none of you are built to play tennis. A lot of you guys aren't built. Jake Elliott was built to play tennis, but a lot of you guys weren't built to play tennis, so you can't switch. So you need each other to get to where you want to go.
So basically, they were trying to get, the question was, did AJ and Jalen's relationship ever make it impossible to control the locker room? The answer was no, yes and no. No, basically, their relationship was not good. That's what you take from all that, because he told a story, which means no, their relationship was not good. But the team is strong enough that they were still winning in spite of that. The fact that they won a Super Bowl, the fact that they went as far as they did last year, did what they did last year. They fell flat in the playoffs, but at the same time, with what was going on inside the locker room, the fact that, most of the team was still unified, it just says so much.
If you want to do it alone, you got to pick another sport. If you want to do it alone, you got to pick another sport.
So I was in the editing process, and I hear this quote from Nick at the end that I didn't even react to the first time I heard it, but the second time it got me going. If you want to do it alone, pick another sport. I mean, I think that tells you all you need to know about what people think about AJ Brown. And then the report today that he comes in and leaves a little picture of himself with the best to ever do it, the best Eagle to ever, whatever. Like, bro, you got to be out of your mind. But this from Nick Sirianni is ice cold. Had to come back on here and say that. Just absolutely ice cold. Unfortunately, we didn't get anything about the team or Sean Mannion. He talked a little bit about the wide receivers. That's interesting. Didn't get anything about the defense, really. But at the same time, we'll have plenty of stuff coming out over the next couple days. We'll be able to have a couple days worth of content there. And that'll lead us into the next stage of things. And then we get a little break from the Eagles stuff. But we'll be coming up with stuff every day, guys. We'll keep this going. Make sure any transactions, any trades, anything that happens, we're going to be updating on. We're going to be talking about it. We're going to be covering it on the channel. So I love you guys. I appreciate y'all so much. Thanks for sticking with me through this. This was insightful in some ways, but, very AJ Brown heavy. We should have known. But love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for coming. I'll catch you in the next one.